So they tried to extort eggs out of me and then forced me into living in the streets after all of the other things that they'd done to me. It was either I take a studio apartment without my son across the street from the FBI offices, or I don't get any housing at all until I give up some of my eggs. And then maybe I could get my federal housing back. Maybe. Maybe. As long as the eggs are good. Are they guaranteed? Money back guarantee on my eggs. Right after I was forced into that position, I've skipped over a couple of attorneys that I had to deal with during this time of trying to find a place to live, and I will talk about that tomorrow. And from that house with the cats and the army people and the Wiccan woman who lived upstairs, from that house I left for Tennessee, because at that point the United States terminated my parental rights, and then Michelle Erickson got a restraining order against me, so I couldn't even go to the visitation offices to even visit my son at all. And they not only terminated my parental rights, they put a restraining order against me so that I couldn't see my son at all. So that if I even tried to appeal that, I had no contact with my son during any appeals process. So they basically wanted to completely cut me out of my son's life. Completely. Just like they cut out that spot on his cheek. How do you eat a heart? Probably the same way that you I don't know. Lock innocent people up and force people to sign false confessions, steal their vehicles from them, sign into law new laws to cover your crimes. How do you eat a heart? It's not going to be at the taco cart. It's not going to be under a little tent at a picnic table next to a taco cart. That's not how you eat a heart. You eat a heart with people who are in Washington, D.C. And they basically are like the barbarians from Raiders of the Lost Ark, who take living hearts out of the bodies of people who are alive and then hold them up as a sacrifice for their horrid practices. while they continue the slave drive. Because in the United States of America, I am a slave. I and my son are slaves. We've been bargained for like slaves. We've been sold like slaves. We've been treated like slaves. We do not have any of the rights that supposedly a citizen has. The example of black slavery in America is alive and well in America today. And it's not based on the color of your skin anymore. It's just based on anti-competition and the people who want to get ahead, who think that they can take whatever they want. And in every single sense of the word, my son is a slave. My son is never going to accomplish anything in the United States of America, as long as he is in the United States of America. This country has one chance. Their only chance to try to show and demonstrate that they are actually the country that they claim to be is to return my son to me. That is the only way to restore faith. Anything less than that is not sufficient. I don't expect to see my son coming back to me after he's emancipated at age 15. I expect to see my son return to me. This year, I want my son returned to me. And so far from the University of Utah Hospital, the place that put microchip implants into my body during surgery, they have not given me my medical records. They've withheld them, and they have not even responded to my request as to where are the rest of my records. I wrote to their president, and I wrote to the medical director, and I made a legal request for my records. But basically, it's like, nobody cares what kind of request I make. Nobody cares how legal it is, because all they see is that the FBI is involved and the CIA is involved and the military is involved. So as long as people who are criminals, who have connections to those agencies are involved, why would anybody else ever care about following the law? This is setting an example of lawlessness in the United States. And then the United States wants to pick and choose which ones they're going to go after they break the laws. You know, after following their example.